Okay, I'm trying with a lighter setup, trying to go for a lighter setup on this my crossbow, and this is the Ozcut knockoffs, Chinese style, 464 grains. This is my regular deer hunting setup, 524, and just going to try to go with a lighter setup for higher speed. Coons, coyotes, they don't require as much heavy arrow or high FOC type stuff. I'm just going to see if I can get some good flight out of this and go from there. And this will be my predator arrow. So something I'm going to experiment with is there's a shim on here that keeps the crossbow bow, the prod they call them, the bow part, from moving forward. And if I want to extend my power stroke a little bit and increase the bow weight a little bit, I can take that shim out of there, which is probably 3 times the thickness of this dime, and see if I can move the prod, the crossbow bow, forward maybe 1/8 of an inch. Short bows stack weight on extremely fast, especially toward the back of the draw. So 1/8 of an inch might add 5 more pounds, or 6 or 7 or 8 more pounds that far back. So, and give some more velocity. So we're comparing that to 228, which we just shot with the 464 grain arrow. So here we go. So this is the part I'm talking about. If I take this out of here and just replace it with this to not dig the screw into the front of the prod, then I probably can gain possibly 1/8 of an inch or so. And just curious what that does for speed. So see how the dime works. I think I'm going to take this off here. Okay, there's that. And that's on the other side. That's what that screws to when it goes through. So this may not amount to much, but just interesting to experiment. So you can see the difference here in the thickness, and I'm going to try to gain this, and I'm going to shim. I'm going to try to gain some power stroke and more power by shimming the back of the crossbow bow with a piece of leather. It's about 3/16 of an inch thick. We'll see how that works. Okay, that's what I'm gaining right there. Maybe 1/8 of an inch, but like I said, it might increase your bow weight by 5 pounds when it's that far back at the back of the power stroke. So let's put this on and see what we can get out of it. So I got to look at my notch. There is a, this is what centers your crossbow. My bow may, no, what's that? That's it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that little white line is the center of the crossbow bow. And then you got to fasten her down on that, centered. That way you don't get arrow whip. Same speed. Oh well. Didn't gain anything, but I'm gonna sight in for this now. All right, sighting in 20 yards, 464 grain arrow, Ozcut broadhead. Okay, one more click left and probably about 4 clicks down. So what I'll typically do is I will sight it in for 20 yards and get it fairly close, and then I will finesse it out to 25 and 30 yards, and because those differences are much more critical than 20 yards, especially a 30-yard shot. So I will finesse it at 25 and 30, and this is close enough, and I've already made the change, so the next shots will be at 25 and 30. Elevation's perfect. Need to come about 2.5 inches left. There you go. All right, third shot. I moved it 8 more clicks left, 25 yards. All right, I couldn't shoot the difference. Let's go to 30. I think it's centered. It kicked the target to the left a little bit, maybe slightly high. Good gosh almighty. Well, I knew I kept coming left, but you know what, that arrow might be a little bit left too. But I think it's hit the target, and the knock is kicked to the left. It's hit the edge of the bag target, but that's still a long way. It just requires a heavier point, higher FOC to get similar flight to the field point. Good to know. So this is 30 yards. So at 20 yards, it's probably going to be half that distance. This one is hitting left, about 1 inch left of center, and that one's hitting about 6 inches left of center, maybe 7. But this is 30 yards, so guess we could go back to 20 and try that. Okay, we're back at 20 yards. I want to shoot the broadhead, then shoot the field point, and see what the difference is. High noon. So this one's just slightly to the right. And this one's about, yeah, it's about 4 inches maybe to the left. That's still pretty substantial. I like to get it within about 2, but if I want to shoot these broadheads, I got to be happy with this. Okay, first broadhead arrow still sticking in the target. I just put this one on, clocked it, same weight arrow, same everything. Let's see where it hits in comparison. It's about 3 inches from that other arrow. I ain't liking that. Not all arrows are created equal. Even if you've got the same point, the same insert, the same shaft, length and spine, same fletching and same knock, sometimes you'll get different results. So you have to shoot multiple broadhead arrows with these traditional style broadheads and pick your best group. So may select some other arrows and see where they hit. Something I will say about this, the arrow on the right hit a whole lot closer to where the field point was hitting on the bag target on the left. So there may be an issue with the arrow that I'm trying to standardize the flight with, and I may shoot a third arrow and see where it goes compared to that arrow on the far right. All right, here's the third arrow, broadhead set up. Let's see where it hits compared to those other two. I pulled the first one out, left the second one in, 20 yards. I'll be dang. It kicked the target pretty far to the left. Those two arrows almost hit the same spot. Probably less than an inch, inch and a half between them. And they're much closer to the where the field point's hitting. So, interesting. I'm gonna leave those in, straighten up the target and shoot a field point. Okay, so this is the second and third arrow. And they are hitting very close to where the field point was hitting on this target. The first arrow that I was using to standardize everything evidently has a little imperfection in it. Something's bent, something. And it's hitting significantly further to the right than the field point and these two broadheads. So I'm going to shoot a field point at this and see where it hits compared to those. Yep. Of course, your broadhead's going to fly a little different, but everything's shooting left and a little bit low. So those are my killing arrows right there. Probably an imperfection in that broadhead. So low and left, about 2.5 inches. Low and left, about 3 inches, 3.5. And low and left about 1.5 inches. So those two arrows are within 2 inches of the field point at 20 yards. So I call that a match. It pays to experiment with different arrows that are the same setup, because they don't all, just because you have the same broadhead, same insert, the same shaft, same fletching, the same knock, you still have stuff that's going to fly different. Little subtleties in how the arrow is, it will cause them to fly different. So you need to pick a number 1 arrow, a number 2 arrow, number 3 arrow to try to get them to all group close to the same. All right, number 1 arrow, 25 yards. Yep. Kick the target over. I think it's dead center. All right, shooting this to be my number 2 arrow. See where it goes. Far right square, 25 yards. Oh yeah. That other knock's kicked left. They're within an inch, inch and a half of each other to their respective bullseyes. We're on. Coyotes and coons, you're in trouble. So there you go. Maybe a 1 inch difference, 25 yards, broadheads. Can't beat that. I can't shoot the difference. Okay, this is the one I was getting in the consistent flight out with. I just took the broadhead off of it and put a different broadhead on. So we'll try this. 25 yards. Nope. Still hitting way over. Well, we'll have to put that in a pile. It's just hitting different than the other 3 arrows, so it's got an issue. Yeah, it's hitting 2.5, 3 inches to the right of the other arrows. So, you're out.